So we got a great question from our buddy Will. He's graduating high school right now. He knows he wants to be a firefighter, paramedic, but he's receiving a lot of pressure from everyone, parents, teachers, friends, to go to college. Although he really doesn't need a 4-year degree in order to do the thing he loves. Apparently this is what is moving up in him. This is the flowering that's happening through him. Is to save people's lives. Running into fiery buildings and dragging people out and bringing them back to life. Pretty noble shit, dude. Like, that's cool. I can see that being something that you could dedicate your life towards. But at the same time, perhaps you're sacrificing some form of security because everyone else keeps telling you you need a 4-year degree. You could become a firefighter today without a 4-year degree, right? According to the question. And begin living the life that is a full expression of the Spirit through you, running into burning buildings and saving people's lives. Or you could delay that and spend 4 years in college and all the things that's associated with. It's delaying your gratification of that desire, as well as putting you into debt, slavery to a degree. And of course I'm biased in many ways, and that's probably why you come to me with your question. So there are a number of things that I want to share with you. The very first thing is it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose really doesn't matter, and I've said this once before, that successful people don't make the right decisions. They make their decisions right. Another way of putting it is damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now what are you going to do? Do you understand? So I can't give you an answer. I can't say, you know what, yes, go into your career as a firefighter and paramedic now and ignore college because it's the wrong thing to do. And I can't say, you probably should have the security of a 4-year degree and be responsible and then go into your career. I'm not going to tell you either one. That's for you to figure out. I can tell you what, either one you choose is the wrong fucking decision. This is wrong and that's wrong. And guess what? You can make this one right and you can make that one right. So they're both right. Okay? That out the way. Number one, you're going to have to be a rebel. You're going to have to, in this life, and at the rate at which we are evolving as a race of human beings, the rapid expansion of our consciousness, our technology, the world around is just, it's a beehive of activity. The only way that you're going to contribute to the growth, wherever we're going, and I don't have any grand kingdom ideas about what humankind is doing, but we're going somewhere, right? And you can either contribute to helping it go in a particular way that you like, plant trees because I like trees, or you can be a slave to it and just let it take you wherever it's going and you're just kind of collateral damage. Well, there you are, you paid your taxes while you were dead, while you're here, now you're dead, who cares? Or you can impede, you could resist it, right? Which never works. Can't resist God. You can't resist this thing that's happening. But if you were of the opinion that I am, which is I'd like to contribute, I'd like to help this whole thing move forward in a way that I see fit, be the change that you want to see in the world, Gandhi, right? Then you're going to have to go against everyone and everything around you, right? Because what's happening is happening so quickly that no one can safely say this is the right choice, because really within a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is that you've invested in could be completely, well, that doesn't exist anymore, right? Think about all the people that invested in real estate and the stock market up until 2008, and then, you mean you spent the past 40 years investing in this one fucking thing? And that's how quickly things go away. Think about people who invested in different companies that, like, remember those two-way phones? Right? Who created those? Motorola. Where the fuck is Motorola anymore? Right? Apple came about. Apple was like, fuck this, we don't give a shit about that. Apple is one of the most rebellious companies in the world. Whether you like them or not, you gotta be like, boy, that company just doesn't give a shit and does whatever it wants. We're not gonna use Flash, fuck you. We're gonna create our own way of bringing video across our devices, right? Whoa, what do you mean? Guess what? They're a leader, industry leader. I think they're the richest company on earth right now, right? Rebelliousness. Rebelliousness is the only character's trait that will allow you to create something remarkable, be magnificent, and add heavily to the evolution of humankind. You cannot stay stuck in traditional ways of doing things. You've got to break the molds. It's not always easy breaking the mold. You might end up collateral damage, the second time I'm using this, for breaking the mold, right? There are some people that pave the road in a particular direction so that someone else can come, right? John the Baptist paved the road for Jesus, right? He basically came and was like, you motherfuckers gonna hate me. They killed him, right? But I need to prepare shit for what's about to happen. That might be you. But if this is happening in your heart, you've got to do it, you know? And that's just an attitude. Obviously, it has nothing to do with your paramedicness. But this is an attitude that I want everyone to adopt. Realize that if there is a flowering, there's a happening inside you, and it looks completely contradictory to everything else that you've been taught and everything else that everyone else is doing, you sort of have a responsibility to do it, okay? That's number one. And again, that's a paradigm. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you practical ideas for your particular situation. And I boil it down like this. There are two realities that you can play with. Now, this is me being poetic, so you're not going to find this in a book or a philosophy channel somewhere. There are basically two things that you're dealing with. You're dealing with the now, which is really the only thing that truly exists. But in a way, you're also creating a legacy, your future, right? And when I say legacy, what you're doing now is going to contribute to the world, to evolution, to your children, to your grandchildren, even when you're gone. So it's an interesting word, legacy, right? What you've got to do now, and where we are in this stage of social development as a race of human beings, is figure out how can you play the socioeconomic game without losing yourself, because you're going to need yourself for that second part, the legacy, right? And you've got to understand the rules of the socioeconomic machinery. See, we've been taught that we have to play this particular game a certain way, but you don't. All you really need to do is, if you're going to live in society, understand that there are a few things that need to happen. Number one, you have to serve other people. That's it. I mean, we just don't exist in a vacuum. You want to save people's lives. Pretty fucking cool, right? But again, I'm giving you broad, sweeping ideas that will allow you. I give you guys tools. Do you understand? A lot of times I can't answer your question, but I give you places to look and tools to carry with you as you go on your journey. Because I don't have the answer. Only you have the answer. Carry this tool, carry this understanding that in order to succeed in the socioeconomic machine, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Somebody would have told me I would have been talking in front of a fucking camera and broadcasting it to 500,000 people when I was in high school. I would have been like, yeah, right, that doesn't fucking exist. It's going to evolve because we're evolving. Service is paramount. You have to, some way, shape, or form, reach people with depth and, if you can, breadth. The more people you help and the deeper you help them, the greater your contribution, the greater your return. Do you understand? This is all a lot of my non-job philosophy. You've got to find some way to give yourself to the world. Be it pulling people out of burning buildings or writing poetry, right? There are 1,000,001 different ways. Creating an app that you can serve other people. And if you want to legally be a part of this game and not get thrown in fucking jail, you gotta pay taxes. Two things, that's it. Want to win the socioeconomic machine? You want to win now, today? You want to do your part? You want your parents, because every parent wants their children to be respectable, which means worldly success. Does he live in a nice neighborhood? Every mommy. Oh, does my son live in a nice house? Does he have a nice car? Can he find a nice girlfriend? Can I have grandchildren? These are the trappings. These are the winnings of this particular machine. If you approach it the way that I'm telling you right now, you don't get lost in it. And you can get those things just with those two fucking rules. You don't need college. You don't need anything. All you need is something that you can share with people that enhances their lives in any particular way. There's so many different ways you can enhance people's lives. The more you help and the deeper you help them, the deeper the return. You've got to set it up so that it happens that way. And you got to pay your fucking taxes. Right? I don't want to throw your ass in jail. You got to pay your fucking taxes. It's just the way it is. You might not like me, what the government does with your tax money, right? But you gotta pay your fucking taxes, and that's it. As long as you're paying taxes and you're giving to the world, you have already gained a strong foothold on the now. Cool. That being said, it's a very limited way of looking at life and approaching your life. You also have to pick your eyes up and consider where the race is going and how you can add significance, how you can add yourself to the movement of mankind, how you can support the evolution of mankind and gain significance for the particular 70 years that you lived here. Those 70 years will be of great significance if you consider your legacy, you consider the future, you consider the next generation. What kind of gift are you leaving behind? Right? Because just serving people, because there are a lot of evil ways to serve people, there are a lot of not nice things that could be going on, For example, the pharmaceutical industry serves a lot of people in a pretty deep way, but most of that shit is fucking unnecessary. They're making us sick, and they're making us sicker with all the pills that they shove down our throat. Now, are you going to feel good about how you've contributed to the evolution of mankind when you know that you caused more pain than goodness, right? And that's, again, that's subjective. Elliot Hulse is opinionated in many ways. Maybe the pharmaceutical companies, right? I'm talking about like designer drugs. I'm not talking about like shit that like cures AIDS, right? Cancer, which apparently, there's not much money in that, so that's why we haven't heard about it yet. But hey, that's just my opinion. Choose anything you want. A lot of you guys get caught up in the details. You get caught up in the wrapping paper of what I'm saying and totally miss the point. Ignore the wrapping paper. Take the gift. Right? Might not like the fucking wrapping paper. Might not like me. But there's a gift here that if you can get over yourself, you'll hear. So plant a tree, my friend. Do the thing that's happening right now in such a way that you win the socioeconomic game in the way that you'd like to win. For everyone, it's very different. And plant a tree while you're doing it. And that's a metaphor for consider the future generations. Consider your children. Consider your children's children. See, we don't do that anymore. Everything we do is about how to win the socioeconomic machinery. How can I have more, be more, get more. You could use the term greed because playing the game is just playing the game, If you earn tens of millions of dollars playing the game, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're greedy. You know how to play the fucking game. But if you're personally identified with it and you have a limited perspective, i.e. you don't consider future generations, you don't consider if you're hurting people or actually helping them. Serving could be serving, like I said, in a good way or a bad way. Then you're greedy because you're self-centered, you're only thinking about yourself. Planting a tree allows the work that you put in today, digging the dirt and planting the seed, to afford shade and fruit for a future generation. And bring significance to the short period of time that you lived on this planet.